shifts that are changing our industry here. And what that really means for all of us and all of you is new opportunity. Martin described the new buyer, the CFO, and where the CFO is investing. And I'll do the same for the Chief Marketing Officer. Stats you've already seen, or some new stats from IDC, all confirming this, that the CXO, including the CEO, spending more time driving technology investments and decisions. Why? Because of the phenomenon of data transforming the practice of business. In different language, this would be called expanding the total available market or newly addressable spaces. You're going to hear this more and more during Partner World. Are we moving to the new buyer, not with the old things and the old vocabulary, but addressing new issues, new imperatives with the capabilities that we're going to be learning about all week long? Here's our analysis of the CXO opportunity more specifically. The size of the circle here is the size of the opportunity as we size it, and the y-axis here shows our ability to serve the needs of the CXO. You see Martin and his tribe on the right. The head of HR is also a huge opportunity, and Ginny talked about some of the investments we've made in companies like Connexa. You see the CMO, you see the Chief Security Officer, and the others. Plenty of opportunity here. The CMO opportunity alone we gauge at $40 billion of IT spend. Now, a few years ago, through our Global Business Services team, we surveyed more than 2,000 CMOs. We wanted to know, as Martin shared with you, what's on the minds of CFOs. And what came back from that was this. And last year, if you were here at Partner World, I shared the three aspects of what CMOs, by and large, B2C, B2B, where they see marketing going. We're going to go from marketing into segments based on zip code or age or family, household income and things like that, or job title, to understanding individuals. To do that, we have to create a system of engagement, to do that in a highly automated way. And because of the transparency effect of social, stewards of brands also become curators of corporate culture. Now, in the past 2 years, we, along with many of you, have reached out to thousands of chief marketing officers around the world. We've been holding events, sessions, bringing the CMO and the CIO together. You see here a shot from the event in Paris of CMOs and CIOs together. How would you describe the demeanor of this group?
Energized, ecstatic.
Yeah, you know, for marketing people, they look more like CFOs, don't they? Yeah, they look a little serious, even a little anxious or worried. Yeah, and with good reason. It's because, you know, a couple of years ago we asked them what's on your mind, similar to the CFO. They're seeing their profession, not just their companies, the profession of marketing being changed by forces they're not familiar with. Technology, social, mobile. We surveyed them again, and they're either still treading water or they're feeling even more unprepared for some of these phenomena. Martin said, when you see a chart like the one he showed you, you see a chart like this, what do you see? Opportunity. You have a CXO spending a lot of money now, not on advertising or traditional marketing methods, but on technology, wanting help. So, what are they feeling together? Well, whether it's B2C or B2B, they're seeing the customer and the consumer changing. Jenny described some of the changes. It's enabled by social and mobile. Our colleague from Monetize very eloquently described that phenomenon in terms of payments and commerce. The consumer, the customer is changing their behavior in ways that we can probably relate to as consumers ourselves. Statistic, consumers look at their app as soon as they wake up. 84% of us do that every day. By the way, 4/5 of adults in the United States with smartphones have their devices within arm's reach 22 hours of the day. They're not willing to admit it's 24 hours of the day because it gets kind of icky, right? But 22 hours of the day, before they get out of bed, they're checking their devices, looking at their apps. Social, yes, they're posting, yes, they're tweeting, as you probably are right now. But from a standpoint of marketing, what's profound here is that they are being influenced by their networks, people they know and people they'll never meet. The user-generated review, the user-generated content phenomenon, hugely influential. It trumps marketing in terms of advertising and formal messages from the company. From a CMO perspective, profound. Jenny talked about this. How fast do you expect a response from a company when you engage with them in these new ways? The clock speed inside of the corporation has to change dramatically as you engage with the consumer and the customer in new methods. And you know what some call the cool but creepy future? How is it that people are comfortable sharing so much about themselves, you know, what they're looking for, what they're shopping, what happened in their lives, even their physical location data? How are they comfortable sharing that? Well, they're sophisticated and savvy because they understand the dynamic between the information they possess and the value they expect in return. So our most recent studies, yes, these new types of customers, this new global culture, not defined by age or geography, as Jenny said, they expect personalization and customization in return for their information. If you misuse that personal information, if you lose it, if you allow it to be stolen, their view, I'm not coming back. So when Jenny put together social, mobile, and security, security pervades everything, but that is a very particular and pronounced consequence if we don't design insecurity in the beginning as we engage customers and employees and students and patients in this new way. The upside here, we heard it, that $1 trillion of potential more spend if they feel they can trust us. They'll do business with us in these new ways. So the CMOs, they're all talking about this. This is not hard to master. If I were calling on the CFO, I don't know how confident I would be, but we are all customers and consumers ourselves. We are ourselves changing our behavior. So if you go call on the CMO or the CMO's function, have confidence. You know what the issues are. Now, let's go more specifically into where CMOs are investing based on our learnings over the past couple of years, meeting with them, doing solutions with them, with many of you. And a couple of things that are in common. Probably number one is this phenomenon of not marketing to segments or demographic slices, but to try to understand each of us as individuals. What they have to do, and they're not familiar with doing it, is to integrate, collect the data. Data integration, some call data attraction. Give me your data, I'll give you value. Let me give you an example of this. There are many here. Telefonica, you will recognize, one of the world's largest telcos based in Spain, operates in 4 continents. Wanted to create a system of engagement so that it can understand and engage their customers and subscribers more as unique individuals. How do they do that? Data integration. They have the data. It's not in the same place. Data like call records, web traffic, texting, yes, location data, purchase history data, and data outside the firewall, demographic data, collect it, composite it to see you, not as a subscriber, but as a unique individual. And having done that, they can now begin to do what the consumer expects. Personalized offers, personalized service based on knowledge of them. So Telefonica is providing this one-to-one, but it's also an example of what you'll hear marketers talk a lot about, next best offer. You familiar with that term? Next best offer. Well, if you know the individual, and you understand their buying patterns, and you know about what they might need next, you begin to predict what they will do next. This is another big buying opportunity in terms of the CMO's priorities. This gets us into the world of predictive analytics, but in the context of next best offer. Let me give you an example of this. So here, now my French will be tested. Millésima, Mark, Millésima, is that the name of this company? By the way, if you're wondering which Malcolm Gladwell book Mark DePaquier could not pronounce, because I'm thinking, it's David and Goliath, because Mark cannot pronounce Goliath. Later when he comes back up, ask him to pronounce the book. Right? My best description of this company is Millésima, French wine distributor based in Bordeaux, luxury wine, super premium clients, wine connoisseurs, average order size $2,000. You can judge for yourself if that's 5 bottles or 1. A few years ago, decided to expand, grow their business, scale it. Now they operate in many parts of the world, physically and on the web. Here's their challenge. They source their wine from 500 different places, small batches, Grand Cru. Now they have an expanding base of customers all wanting these fine wines. So how do you not disappoint the customers who all want these small allocations, nor spam them with wines that aren't relevant to their wine cellars or their tastes? So Millésima invested with IB and business partner EliseNet to create a smarter marketing solution using webs for commerce, core metrics, to do predictive analytics and predictive marketing to their high-end clients. Now, based on everything they know about each customer, when that lot shows up, they can market the right wines to the right customers, not disappoint or spam, which means irrelevant marketing to different customers. The results, their transaction rates are moving up. Now, that's next best offer. Another term we'll hear CMOs talk about is next best action. And you might think that they're the same thing. Well, really they're not, because an offer is just that, as illustrated with the wine. But a next best action is just that. How can we prescribe to you, not just offer to you something, but prescribe to you what you ought to do? And it may not be in service of commerce, it may be in service of enhanced customer experience. Example here I share with you is KLM Air France. The two came together to form one of the world's largest airlines a few years ago. And now they're using prescriptive analytics to recommend an action to their passengers who are encountering flight delays and other travel disruptions. So like the others, integrating the different data sources, flight delay information from flight ops, gate changes from ground ops, combined with their loyalty program information to understand the passenger. And again, you'll hear many CMOs talk about this. All the data is there, but we have to put it together. That's a great opportunity for us. Applying prescriptive analytics, then, they can recommend to the customer what action they should take when a flight's delayed or there's a gate change. And the result, higher customer satisfaction. So that's next best action, pretty clear. Another one you hear about, particularly retail CMOs talk about, is omni-channel. This makes sense too. You have web, you have physical stores perhaps. Everyone's investing in mobile and social. This is all about integration. Single view of the customer, providing a single view of the company to the customer. An example here is Zozotown, hot company in Japan, e-commerce, 3.8 million customers, 150% annual growth. They target the fashionista. And part of what Zozotown thinks sets them apart is the idea of friendship. That if they could engage with their customers the same way their customers engage with their friends and social networks, it will drive stronger customer relationships. So they use Netezza and Unica to analyze massive amounts of data to create personalized offers and messages for 3.8 million customers. You ask a CMO if they can personalize a message or a customer or an offer to how many of their customers. Won't surprise you what the answer is. Zozotown can do it for 3.8 million customers. Then they use Unica marketing automation to find the right channel and method to reach those customers with these offers. The result, they have a conversion rate improvement 1,000%. Last example here, that's omnichannel. Last example here is pricing optimization. The right product, but also at the right price. Example here is Ace Hardware. Those in the United States familiar with Ace. It's actually a co-op. It's a co-op. So the stores are local, they're owned locally, but they're part of this co-op alliance or federation. 4,000 stores. Lots of competition from the big box providers and online. One differentiation is how do you price each item in the local hardware store. So what we're doing with ACE here, in partnership with 360 Pi, using demand text SaaS pricing, is we look at the prices of the local competitors around each store, offer that to each ACE hardware store operation, so they can optimize the price based on that local information. So, to sum up, here are just some of the things that CMOs are investing in. You look on the right side of this chart, you should feel very confident. We're talking about data integration, master data management, predictive analytics, SaaS offerings. So we shouldn't be hesitant to approach the CMO. The left side of the chart, this is not that difficult because, as I said, we are all consumers and customers. We can relate to the new ways in which we're being marketed to. We have a rich portfolio. This is just the software part of it. In terms of the investments we have made to build an enterprise marketing management portfolio, we continue to invest in it to make it more comprehensive. It's a very effective group of solutions. I know this because we are implementing most of this at IBM for our own data-driven marketing needs ourselves. When I look at the right side of this chart, I would suggest to you, you should see cross-sell and upsell. Because if they have Formetrics, they're probably going to need T-Leaf. If they have Unica and Cognos, they're probably going to need SPSS predictive analytics. Lots of opportunity here for cross-sell and upsell to the CMO. Let me wrap up here. Remember that the CMO has to rely and partner with the CIO. The CIO still plays a very important role to bring them together. When we started having these events around the world, these CMO-CIO events, it was really interesting. We were thanked, I can't tell you how many times this happened. CMOs or CIOs would come up during the event, like at the coffee break, and say, we're so happy that you had this event because I finally met the CMO, or I finally met the CIO in their own company. So the fact that we can bridge this relationship or help to form it, a very powerful opportunity. Match the skills you already have or that you're building in big data, analytics, cloud, social, mobile, with the relevant issues of the CMO. And finally, let's try not to only talk about technology, we love the technology, but focus on the business outcomes. And if you do that, you have rich opportunities serving this new buyer called the CMO. Now, one of the things you've heard about from Martin and from myself is the importance of information management and predictive analytics. We have a huge story here and an expanding portfolio, and there's nobody better positioned to talk about that than my colleague Bob Picciano, who's our Senior Vice President for Information and Analytics. Bob?